Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am Filippo and I'm the founder of Bistack.io. Today we're gonna look into Zoom and how you can secure some sweet discounts. Let's face it, Zoom usually takes a big chunk of your IT budget, but with a few strategies you can save a lot of cash. When negotiating a new contract with Zoom, time is key. Did you know that their fiscal year ends on January 31st? This means that the months leading before the end of the fiscal year are actually the best. So December and January are very good months to secure good deals. But this also means that months like January, April, July, and October are usually the best months to negotiate and represent golden opportunities to secure the best renewals as well as negotiating new contracts. And you might wonder why that's the case. It's because salespeople are looking forward to close their quarter, so they are more willing to go ahead and get you the discount that you want. When it comes to negotiation tactics that work really well with Zoom, the first thing that you can mention is that your budget is actually really constrained. This means that when you approach the negotiation, don't mention that your budget have increased or whatever. Like, always play very conservative. The second one is in regards of price locks. If you are, for example, discussing a renewal and they are actually proposing a price increase for whatever is the reason, and you were not notified of that price increase, you can use this in your negotiation as well. And we have seen with our client network that this tends to work really well. Let's touch on pricing now. When you go on the Zoom pricing page, you can actually see that their pricing structure is quite complex. They have several license prices depending if you're a personal account, a business account, or educational even. And then they have several tiers and additional add-ons. This makes it very difficult to discuss pricing right now because your case is going to be different from someone else's case. But when you see this means that there is a lot of space to usually to negotiate around and to create bundling. Now, generally, we can say that for a business account, a Zoom license, if paid annually, is going to cost around $160 to $220 per year. And you can already see that if you pay, for example, annually, you are already saving 16%. But that's not all of it. If you are a company with 100 employees, according to our data, you can expect to spend about $9,000 per year in Zoom licenses. Whereas if your business is double the size, so it's 200 users, you are gonna spend between $14,000 to $28,000 per year. Now, if we look at the enterprise side instead, prices do not scale at the same level. There is a consistent amount of discount that you can get there. Indeed, our data show that for 1,000 employees, Zoom licenses tend to cost between $25,000 and $60,000. Obviously, this depends what kind of agreement you have in place, but this gives you an understanding that the prices that you see on the website there are actually the starting base for your negotiation. And one thing you can do is, once you sit at the table to negotiate either a renewal or a new contract, make sure that you understand how many seats you're gonna need for the rest of the contract length. So if I am in January, I'm negotiating a 1-year contract with Zoom, and I know that I'm gonna, for example, increase my headcount from 100 to 150. Make sure you negotiate those seats prices in this moment, so during the conversation, and do not negotiate them later, because this is going to give you more power in the negotiation. Why is that? It's because the rep on the other side is just willing to close the deal right now, and they don't care much about what are your promises about the future. So they tend to give free seats quite easily. And I've seen that, for example, in some contracts, we also got 50 free seats in exchange for a 2-year deal. So these are all variables that you have to take into consideration. We've mentioned before that the Zoom pricing page is quite complex because they have also several add-ons. This means that bundling is usually something that goes on in every negotiation. If, for example, you're using a scheduling tool, you might think to switch to actually Zoom scheduling tool, or if you have a phone service provider, you can actually might think to change that for Zoom. Generally, what we've seen is that the more you tend to group together, the more you can save. And when you bundle everything together, you're gonna see a consistent discount compared in having 3 different contracts. Like all the SaaS vendors, Zoom loves to sign multi-year contracts. This means that Yes, they offer already 16% off for a 1-year contract, and from what we're seeing, actually you can get an additional 10% discount if you're willing to negotiate a 2-year deal with them. So keep this in mind. If you know that you're gonna need Zoom for the next 2 or 3 years, go ahead and put this on the table, because in exchange you're gonna get some nice discounts. If you're a small business or a startup, I understand that the advice that I've shared might not apply to you, but what you can do in your case is actually go on Google and search for promo codes. You will find that there are quite a lot. I'm not gonna list them here because they tend to change quite frequently. So that's a way for you to get a nice 30 or 60%. In any case, if you're a business using Gmail or Outlook, I would not shy away from opening the conversation with Google and Microsoft to onboard, respectively, Google Meet or Microsoft Teams. Yes, they will come back to you with a bundle offer, which usually is very compelling, and you can use this offer to go back to Zoom and try to negotiate a further discount. Remember, knowledge is power, and by applying these tactics, you can considerably lower your Zoom costs. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful, and also if you want to stay up to date, subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye bye.